So how's everybody doing? Welcome back to the Two Birds and a Third football podcast. This is the week 1 review edition of the Two Birds and a Third football podcast, and we have Ricky and DJ. Hopefully Josh joins later. But boy, was that one crazy week.
Boy. No, but I don't know what to say. Yeah, that sums me up right there. Yeah, the loud music is definitely.
Hold on, wait, what is that? Oh,
what?
Hold on.
I thought you were doing something.
Hold on, it's a video.
I thought you were going somewhere with
it's
that.
It's a video. I wasn't going anywhere with that.
I see how it is.
It was like advertisement music, I guess.
All right, let's get straight into this.
Hold on. I need to.
See that? That's your IQ, buddy. 0.
Yeah, exactly. Even though I went 8-1 in the regular matchups.
That's my IQ, buddy. So I just wanted to briefly touch on the kicker of the LA Chargers, the formerly San Diego Chargers, and the fact that what was it? He what's his name again?
It's Young Ho Kim.
No disrespect to the Orientals.
Oh, hey.
All right, so
let's touch on him, Hank. I think that's actually a great point to start off because he's getting a lot of hate. But here's the thing: he did his job the first time.
Exactly.
It was because of a timeout that that was missed. And again, I don't know.
It was blocked though. That's not his fault.
It's not like he blatantly
was
missed
blocked,
it.
But did you see what the guard did? The guard just let this guy through. It wasn't his fault. The guy already penetrated the line.
To be fair, the guy he let through was a massive individual, so...
No, I don't care. That's not an excuse.
All right, so in case... Oh, crap. Josh, hold on. Let me invite Josh in real quick. While I invite Josh in, for those that are curious for how we did in our picks, in our regular matchups, I did the best at 8-1. Yay. And Josh and DJ went 7-2, and Hank went a miserable 5-4.
I know, right?
Now,
it's just a few.
Okay, but now for the primetime matchups, Josh went 2-4. I went 4-2 along with Hank, and DJ went 3-3. So the totals came out to 12-3. I did as the best. DJ the second best at 10-5, and Hank and Josh tied at 9-6.
To be fair, I always do poorly the first week because you never
Okay,
know.
New England.
You don't have anything to judge off of.
Yeah, it's okay, Hank. No worries.
No, but it is true. I
going
never
a little
do.
bit here. Hey, Josh, welcome in, buddy.
Hey, guys.
Hey, what's going on? Okay, so before we get started, just a quick reminder that any takes we do, please keep in mind, we're taking it with a grain of salt. It is week 1. For all you know, a team that did win could possibly end up losing 15 in a row or vice versa.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. You never
but
know
that being
what's
said,
going to happen. You never know.
Okay.
So what are we gonna talk about first?
Let's talk about how our teams did.
Okay.
So I want to talk about first is the probably the most impressive game. Josh's Ravens and his Baltimore defense helping me out in my 4-money league. It's shutting up the Bungles 20-0. Now, I did not think I thought Baltimore's defense was good, but I did not think the Bengals were that bad.
Josh thought the Baltimore defense was going to be amazing. The whole time he was like,
I thought it was the mix of a perfect storm. I thought the Bengals were going to be that bad, and I thought our defense was going to be that good.
What was the actual, what was it, 5 sacks, 4 interceptions?
And
so the defense pitches a shutout with 5 sacks, 4 interceptions, forced fumble recovery. The Bengals to 144 passing yards, 77 rush yards, and the Bengals had a 30.8% third down conversion.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I could care less. They gave me 25 points.
And apparently they're saying that Joe Mixon is better than they thought he would be.
And why didn't they?
Yeah, I mean, this game, this is one of those things, and that I think kind of goes to what me and Josh kind of predicted coming into this on how bad Cincinnati was, and that Pittsburgh is vulnerable. You're going to see two teams. I think by the time next year, the top two teams in that division will be the Browns and the Ravens.
Yeah. Okay, so Josh, real quickly, what did you like or didn't like, and what needs to improve from the Ravens? Pretty much.
What I really liked was, aside from the defense, because everyone can talk about the defense, that was, everyone could see that. But what I liked, besides that, was their commitment to the rushing game. They had 154 rush yards between Terrence West and Javarius Buck Allen, because Danny Woodhead's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks with a hamstring injury. But 154 rushing yards in the third quarter. They were able to mount it was something like a 12 running plays in a row, and it was an 18 play drive for a field goal in the third quarter. And Joe Flacco came back. He missed all of preseason. Only had 1 week of camp with his guys. So he went 9 for 17, 127 yards, and a touchdown. I think it was a good way to ease him back in. But I don't like.
Did he also have an interception?
He had one. He had one INT. Off a deflected pass from Terrence West.
So it wasn't theoretically his fault.
No.
You should take it away. No, it hit. And it hit Terrence West in both of his hands. Maybe a foot behind him, but Terrence West should have caught it. But yeah, other than that, I think that they played really, really well. What I did not like is the holding penalties on Jensen. This is his first year playing center, but he had three holding penalties, and they negated plays of 8, 12, and 15 yards. So it's not like he had them, and they only had a 2-yard gain. I mean, he negated some big plays there. So we'll see how it goes in the next couple weeks, but I just think that there's a lot that we can improve on in the passing game.
Okay. All right, cool. So then let's move on to the next game, that being I'm sorry, give me a second. I gotta okay. Let's move on to the next game, that being not Josh's. God, I'm so tired, guys. DJ's Cleveland Browns, which made the game relatively interesting.
Yeah,
the final.
It was great. Hopefully people from work don't hear this, but I was watching the game on Sunday, and as I was looking at it, as the game flowed, I didn't check any yardage or scores or any type of statistics. I just wanted to see how they were doing on the field, how they were if they were being cohesive, if they were being a team, man. And after the game was over, I felt like this was a great game. Unfortunately, a couple of Browns mistakes happened. A punt block for a touchdown, that's one of the Browns' mistakes.
Hey, and if that didn't happen, DJ, you guys are right in that game, possibly winning it.
Yeah, and then the second one was the interception that Kaiser threw when we were on Pittsburgh's 30-yard line. That was that pick by T.J. Watt. That one right there could have tied the game by then. So a couple things go our way, and we win the game. I do have some interesting stats here that I've been looking over. And this is what I really like about this offense. I mean, I know they didn't produce the points necessary, but they did convert. So total first downs for the Steelers, 16. Total first downs for the Browns, 20. That's 20 first downs for the Browns. I don't think I've seen that number from the Browns in a long, long time. That's an offense that's making third down conversions. Yeah, actually, hold on. Their third down efficiency was not that good. It was only 25%. But their fourth down efficiency was 100%. So that's a sign right there that Hugh Jackson trusts his team. He's showing that by going for it on fourth down because he feels that his team can do it, and his team is responding right now. It's just all about getting a little bit more experience. The rookie mistakes from Deshaun Kaiser will end up biting us in the ass and eventually in the first weeks of the season. But I look for this team to have a good second half. The first half's going to be working on a lot of kinks here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes for when you have a rookie quarterback, unless they get it real fast. Like a Dak Prescott, who just
Here's the thing. Dak Prescott with Dak Prescott, his offensive line was so good that if he was just if what he did with Deshaun Kaiser did with that offensive line, that the Browns' offensive line is really good, but they're not what the Cowboys were.
And it's not just the offensive line; it's also the balanced attack that Dallas is able to have, where
the running back
you can take some. It doesn't matter who the running back is. I mean, Zeke is really good. Don't get me wrong when I say that, but I think that Dallas's strength is that that's what helps their quarterbacks. You can take some of the pressure off of a quarterback when you're able to amass 100 yards every single game easily. That's a lot of time to eat off the clock, which means that your defense stays off the field, and it's less time for your rookie quarterback to make a mistake when you're handing the ball off.
Yep, that's true.
Makes sense. But what do you guys think?
Did Jay Ajayi get hurt?
Let me get your take. What did you guys think? I'm a homer.
Well, at the beginning, I was like, this is gonna be the typical Browns, like allowing a punt block. But there was actually a Steelers fan at the bar who was getting extremely pissed off at the fact that Ben Roethlisberger really wasn't playing that well during the game. So,
and neither was Le'Veon Bell really.
No, they held him in check. I mean, you could say that it's possible because it's the first game of the season where the Browns.
Well, here's my main thing, Hank. In the beginning of the year, right before the year started, the Browns by NFL.com were ranked 31st in defense. Like just for the power rankings in defense, I think that is grossly underrated. For what this team is going to do.
You should also not believe rankings. Those are
I know, but that's 37 rushing yards. That's all they got. Pittsburgh got against that defense.
I was going to say, DJ, I think that your team, first of all, your coaching's excellent because Hugh Jackson's great. I think your schemes are going to be very good, and you guys have a lot of young talent that's able to pull that off. Your defense looks really, really good, and going up from here, I love Deshaun Kaiser. I told you before the draft that you guys should take him, and when you did, I told you, and I'm going to keep telling you I told you.
I know. You won't let me live that down, I know, and I give you kudos on that.
But yeah, I love how your team's doing. Your team's been doing phenomenal.
And I think the first week of the season, coming off of last year where they only had one win, I think that's a good win a good loss or a good game to build on.
Yeah, exactly.
So
were you in Pittsburgh? I can't remember.
Yeah, you were. They were in Pittsburgh.
No, they were playing.
They were in Cleveland. My bad.
Oh, already. So let's move on to Hank's Philadelphia Eagles. As to his surprise, they actually beat the Washington Redskins off of a controversial call. No, I'm kidding.
We beat the Washington Redskins. We finally got that monkey off our back.
Guess what? The GOAT Nelson Aguilar.
Right.
He had a touchdown.
The GOAT Nelson Aguilar had a touchdown.
Off an amazing scramble by your quarterback.
Yeah, it was a great scramble by Wentz. Honestly, I don't like the fact that Wentz has to scramble because later in the season that might come back to bite him, where he might suffer like a leg injury or a concussion because Kerrigan still like pushed him over after he threw that pass, but Carson Wentz is really starting to remind me of like a mix between Ben Roethlisberger and Russell Wilson.
That's what I was going to say, Hank.
That little spin move that he made, like that
little juke move where he almost broke those dudes, guy's ankles. I saw that.
That's a more athletic version of Andrew Luck.
You think?
No, so? I would say a more athletic version of Ben Roethlisberger because Roethlisberger is a little bit bigger and slower, but Wentz has the. What?
Andrew Luck's way more athletic than most people think.
Ben Roethlisberger?
That guy.
No, he's a very good. He's a good quarterback, but he's not going to outrun anybody. DJ is what I'm saying. Wentz actually has agility. I don't think Roethlisberger has an ounce of agility in his body.
Andrew Luck.
Oh, Andrew Luck's super athletic.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. I wasn't saying Ben Roethlisberger.
Oh, that's why I made the Ben Roethlisberger comparison.
My whole thing when the whole Eagle, like when I was watching, I just kept watching Wentz run around. I'm like, this isn't really good.
No, it's not.
If I'm
our
like,
our offensive line doesn't look so good. That's one of the weaknesses of the team. The running game didn't really get started. I thought the defense played well enough to win that game. I mean, Terrell Pryor couldn't catch a cold. I mean, gone are the times where the Redskins have Deshaun Jackson and Pierre, a sure-handed Pierre Garçon, but there were plays in which he could have gotten it. Pryor had the ball in his hand. I believe there was a touchdown and one longer pass. But a lot of the Eagles fans are getting on Doug Peterson for his play call. Me personally, no offensive coach is going to call, rarely ever are they going to call a perfect game. You know?
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see that happening, especially with the fact that Doug Peterson is a second-year head coach. The only thing that I didn't like is the fact that he had Wentz throw that fake sweep bubble screen that ended up being a backwards pass. The thing is, when you're winning a game 13-0, or no, I think we might have been winning 7-0 at the time. I forget. But when you're winning a game 7-0, you shouldn't get cute. You should try to be doing the stuff that originally got you your points.
I will bring up, you guys were up 13-0, but the Redskins stormed back and with a pick six, and I believe, I don't know who got the other touchdown, but
Thompson.
Basically the Redskins stormed back.
Yeah, they stormed back. Thompson got a touchdown, and Kerrigan got a pick six. That was off of a tip pass at the line of scrimmage. Still like a tough pass to throw in the flats when there's a guy right there, but there's nothing really you can do about that. A tip pass is a tip pass.
Mm-hmm.
But the Eagles definitely showed their resiliency. Our defensive line looks absolutely savage. Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham, they did their jobs.
And big-time Timmy Jim Jernigan.
Big game, Timmy Jim Jernigan got himself a sack too. Besides the injuries to Caleb Sturgis, the big fish, and Ronald Darby, I mean, that forced fumble at the end of the game, I remember when that happened, I was like, that's a gift. Kirk Cousins' arm was clearly going forward, but apparently the angles that the referees saw didn't go that way. So
yeah,
overall,
I think the refs kind of I think overall in the NFL, the refs let him play this weekend.
Yeah,
just give it time.
I just think that it was a decent win week 1, but I'm glad we beat the Redskins. But I think the Chiefs will be just a completely another monster at Arrowhead.
Okay, so let's for my Cowboys, probably the most. I would say it's the most lackluster game, mainly because I thought it was gonna be more competitive. like let me tell you something. Yeah, exactly. No, but in all seriousness though, when you get a sack while they're still introducing the offense for the Giants, you're probably gonna lose the game.
Right.
Like I'm watching this, I'm like, what the heck's going on? They got a sack. No, but what I think this game shows, and yes, the Cowboys did a lot. The defense for the Cowboys was very great. I think the interesting part, yes, the Cowboys put up 400 yards, but I felt like they should have been more efficient on offense. They should have at least scored 2, if not 3 touchdowns, as opposed to a couple field goals.
No, that's the thing. I think that's why I think that it wasn't a good showing. They didn't finish. They got basically to the point, but they couldn't punch it in the red zone. They had to settle for field goals.
Well, here's the...
That's first week blues. Come on.
Yeah, that's...
Well, let me tell you something. When it comes to finishing a drive, The Giants at the beginning of the third quarter went on a 10-minute drive that only resulted in 3 points, which the Cowboys got back, I believe, on the next, or if not the following drive they went on. So, what this tells me, like, I feel like, and I'm not trying to diss the New York Giants by any means, but, like, for example, when Green Bay goes up against Seattle, even though Seattle didn't score a touchdown, and it was 17-9 the final, that doesn't mean Seattle's a bad team. It happens to be that they go up against a better team or something around those lines. And many people misconstrued that if you lose to a good team, then you're all of a sudden bad. But with that being said, the New York Giants their offense was completely inept. I mean, they could not move the ball past their own 35 to like the next quarter. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was like Eli Manning. Yeah, sure, he threw an interception, which I thought he would. Not only that, what else? I'm trying to remember exactly what I was going to say.
It just felt like they weren't the same team without Odell. It felt like Eli didn't have the connection with Marshall that a lot of Giants fans thought he had. But the thing about Odell Beckham is probably one of the biggest playmakers on the field, because if you have a bad offense or a bad offensive line, he can cover that up, because most cornerbacks, they don't line up right on top of him. They'll line up off. All he has to do is run a few curl routes, a few button routes. They'll line up with him, and he'll just burn them, you know?
But here's the thing. You better hope that he doesn't hold out for a contract, Odell, because he definitely can. He's probably going to ask for more money, considering he literally has, and I'm not saying like, no one else is a part of the Giants offense, but it makes it look like not Eli. It makes it look Odell literally is the Giants offense, similar to how David Johnson was the Cardinals offense.
Don't remind me. R.I.P.
Yeah, R.I.P. If you got him in his fantasy league. So to end on this point, basically the Cowboys defense is a lot better than I thought. I thought we were decent, but I didn't know we were that. Yes, I understand it is week 1. We'll see how this goes. The Cowboys offense, just don't be surprised. Like, I mean, they find a way to get it done, even if it looks like they just have rust. So, I mean,
yeah, but just Sean Lee, dude, this is where your defense is going to hinge on. If he can stay healthy the whole year, you could have a top 10 defense if he stays healthy the whole year.
We'll see. I mean,
Sean Lee's good, dude. When he's healthy, he's one of the best linebackers in the league, hands down.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
And you gotta hope that Jalen Smith ends up, panning out. But he looked pretty good in the game.
Yeah, I mean, 7 tackles, a forced fumble. I mean, he looked fantastic.
Yeah.
But okay, guys, let's move on. So
to,
basically,
injuries.
Yeah, injuries. So, mainly we have David Johnson. I guess we could talk about Andrew Luck's injury for the future, of the Colts.
Yeah.
And
actually, let's start with that one, because I have a lot to. That's okay. We all know that David Johnson's out for 4 months.
No, he's out for 2 to 3.
2 to 3. But
we'll see. So that's like basically the whole season, though.
Yeah. But with Andrew Luck, I mean, you guys, what would you guys do if you were the general manager or the head coach? Are you gonna risk putting him in too early? I mean,
no, Josh. You know what this reminds me of? Remember when Peyton Manning went down with injury for the whole season? Well, I know he's coming back, Andrew Luck, but it reminds me of that time where the Colts purposefully tanked just to get Andrew Luck. I'm not saying they're gonna do that with. I'm not thinking they're gonna do that with Sam Darnold. You know what I mean? But
no, not with a quarterback. But I mean, what if you just kind of
but tanking, yeah.
Throwing Jacoby Brissett, because obviously Scott Tolzien looked horrible out there. It looked like he didn't even know what he was doing. Put in Jacoby Brissett, have him play, put Andrew Luck on IR designated to return, and just kind of accept.
Are those Josh there?
I think we might have lost him. But I agree. I agree with that point in the fact that they started out with Scott Tolzien, and Scott Tolzien really didn't do anything for them. I know Scott Tolzien came in during last season, that Pittsburgh Steelers game on Thanksgiving, but if you're looking at a guy who's had some success, you know, you shouldn't go with Scott Tolzien because he hasn't shown any success.
Mm-hmm.
But,
which could be leading us into a whole other conversation. Is
right. I just feel like I think that the Colts. I mean, the Colts would be in a good situation if they weren't the only team that was trying to tank, because the Bills are tanking a bit. The Jets are obviously tanking. You could say possibly the 49ers might tank in order to get a quarterback, in order to get a lick at a Sam Darnold or what about
CJ Beathard? I thought they were going to give him a shot.
Doesn't he play for the 49ers, though?
Wait, who?
That's what I'm saying. Like, you said the Niners were going to tank for a quarterback, but what about CJ Beathard? I thought they were pretty high on him.
Yeah, but he's not playing.
Well, give Hoyer a couple more weeks to throw in a little bit more picks. You'll see him playing pretty quickly here.
Right.
Other than injuries, I mean, the David Johnson one, I think I personally, I had that personal belief where I felt like the Arizona Cardinals were going to overuse him and eventually he was going to get hurt. It was just a matter of when. But outside of injuries, I'm not sure if you guys heard, but Brian Cushing got suspended 10 games for
Yeah, for
really?
these. It's a second offense. Well, one more and it's 3 years. Or 2 years,
well,
my bad. 2 years.
This is going to be it. He's not going to get re-signed.
Yeah, probably not.
Is there any other than the what's his name for the Bears, the Kevin White injury. The wide receiver. Yeah, that's more or less of I don't know.
More or less of like a difficulty with like himself. Like he's always getting injured. You know.
Mhm. Yeah, it's an unfortunate thing. So I think that pretty much covers it for serious.
Unless you talk like. We thought that Ronald Darby was going to get injured for a long time because he dislocated his ankle, but they showed no issues with his ligaments in the MRI. But didn't Alan Hearns?
No, Allen Robinson.
Allen Robinson got injured. The wide receiver for the Jacksonville Jaguars. He got injured. And then the linebacker for the 49ers.
Reuben Foster,
he got injured too, but it's not as bad as what people thought it was going to be. People thought that it was going to be torn. Apparently it's just isn't it just a sprain or something?
Yeah, it's keep him out a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, so it looks like he's going to miss some time, but I mean, to be fair, I mean, Reuben Foster, he was that boomer bust pick, and I'm not saying he's a bust by any means at the moment, but, I mean, of course it's injury, so...
But, an injury risk, because I know he came into the draft injured. He came into the combine injured.
Yeah. So, I think that does it for injuries. So, I think we need to discuss poor quarterback play.
Because here's the thing. The two best quarterbacks in week 1 were Alex Smith, who had over 300 yards and 4 touchdowns, a guy who you don't expect to have those kinds of statistics, and Matthew Stafford, who started off the game very poorly, but ended up scoring 4 touchdowns, or at least 2 or 3 touchdowns late to beat the Arizona Cardinals. You know, everybody else, I mean, you have Dak Prescott. You have Dak Prescott, who, was the best quarterback, one of the best quarterbacks last year, who only had 1 touchdown. Marcus Mariota had a rushing touchdown. Derek Carr, he had 2 touchdowns. So
I mean, yeah. I wouldn't say poor quarterback play. I would say average quarterback play.
It felt like rusty quarterback play. Because
exactly. This is shaking off the cobwebs. I mean, if shaking off the cobwebs for Derek Carr's 250 yards and 2 touchdowns, no picks on the road, I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course.
So, I mean, even with DeShone Kizer went 20 for 30 with 1 touchdown and a pick for about 222 yards.
Yeah.
I mean,
that for a rookie is good. You know?
Yeah, exactly. So, I think what we're seeing right now, and I think it's going to take about maybe week 3 or 4 before we see, like, maybe Brady throwing up 4 touchdowns, or you're going to see Rodgers doing 2 to 3 each game. Yeah. You can even see Derek Carr go off a couple times, maybe a couple touchdowns to both Cooper and Crabtree. But, I mean, I think that it's going to be a lot better, especially later on.
I think it's because a lot of these.
This up to like.
I think it's because a lot of these coaches have been keeping their players out, or a lot of their starters out during the preseason, and it's really messed with.
Timing, chemistry, stuff like that.
Yeah.
There he is, Josh. There he is.
But I think that eventually teams will start getting a regiment down, and we see week 1 and what? Huh?
We see week 1 and week 1. It's just one of those years. A couple years ago, we saw more points scored in week 1 than we've ever seen in the NFL. This year, we haven't seen this least amount of points scored in the NFL in something like 10 years.
Exactly.
Well, I think that raises to the point what Hank was saying. Preseason, people are sitting out more.
Yeah.
I think what preseason is really all about, though, and this is my take on the whole thing, is who's going to be on that 50-man roster at the end.
Yeah.
Especially because the rule of 93 now, where
you trim 93
down to your 53-man roster, and I think for coaches now, it's like, well, why am I going to play Le'Veon Bell? I need to see who's going to be behind him. Like, why am I going to play, Marshall Yanda? He just had shoulder surgery. Why would I play him in the preseason? Get better. I need to work on my other guys and see who's ready for game action.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think it's a mix of things. Because obviously you don't really get a sense of how a quarterback actually is playing or, like, his trend. I mean, of course, quarterbacks can trend up or down at any point in the season. I mean, like, for example, like, some quarterbacks, were expected to not do great. Like Scott Tolzien, he's a backup. I mean, like Tom Savage, for example. I mean, for goodness sake, like, the game could have been different. Deshaun Watson started, but who knows?
So are we pulling the trigger too soon on these guys, though? It is week 1. Are we? I mean, really, some of these guys.
For some, no, but for some, yes. Like, for example, Tom Brady. The guy's going to be fine.
Yeah.
The guy's going to be fine.
Well, I also think that at the very end of it, a lot of people put a lot of stock into week 1, but you just never know. Because I've seen Eagles teams that have started out 3-0, of course, last season, and we ended up 7-9. I've seen Eagles teams that have started out 0-2 and have ended 12-4 and made it to the NFC Championship game. So you can look at week 1 and be like, oh yeah, we won week 1, but if you can't win the next, what was it? Ryan Leaf went 2-0 in his first 2 games, and then sucked for the rest of his career. So just understand that if you play a bad game week 1, like, the power rankings the power ranking gods might be like, you suck, but if you come out week 2 and you play better than week 1 and you win, then nobody's going to remember that you played like crap week 1.
Yeah, well, unless you lose. But, so, like, for example, like, okay, hypothetically, if New England loses to New Orleans, I'm starting to, like, red flags are starting to pop. Because it's like, what is going on? Like, this team is, like in 2014 when they were 2-2, I mean, like, I wasn't counting them out.
Yeah.
I mean, for God's sake, and then they won the Super Bowl. But, like, if they start 0-2, I'm starting to, like, question that team a bit. But then again, anything's possible. Like, I mean, you can have a team that goes 0-2 and wins the Super Bowl. You can have a team that starts at 2-0 and then ends up going 4-12.
Exactly. You never know.
Don't take
You should never take week 1 at face value.
I know, but the thing is about this, though, is that now the Raiders have a 1-game advantage for home field advantage. That's going to be very key coming in. 'Cause you don't want the Patriots to have to play in Oakland for the AFC Championship game.
They don't want to play on the road, period.
Yeah.
Well, that won't end well.
Oakland's already getting screwed Oakland on their schedule because they were supposed to play the New England Patriots at home. And what did they do? They made it a home game in Mexico.
Jeez Louise, man.
Wow. Well, but here's the thing. At least there's a large Raiders following in Mexico. You know?
Yeah.
That's true. I think that's why they did it. But still, like, of all games to choose, like, really, you choose the Patriots game?
They should have done the Cowboys-Raiders game in Mexico and, you know, put the Patriots in Oakland. I think that would have been a much better.
Well, yeah, because they're scared that Tom Brady might get hurt by the fans. They're scared. He might not make it out of Oakland. Is the problem? When was the last time he's been back in Oakland?
DJ, that's a lie. You've been to Raiders games. They are the nicest fans ever.
I'm not saying that, Josh. I'm saying there's a lot of hate for Tom Brady in the tuck rule, man. This isn't just a normal guy coming in here.
Right? Tom Brady didn't make that rule.
Everyone knows it was a made-up rule by the government.
It was a made-up rule by Paul Tagliabue to upset Al Davis. Anyway, let's go on to our next. What was the next topic, Ricky?
The next topic was good Rams or bad Colts. Now let me tell you something before we get into this. You know, you got your rear end kicked so bad that you end up naming the wrong team that you got beat by. Yeah. For those that don't know, Chuck Pagano in his press conference said, we got, you know, he was stumbling around and he said, yeah, man.
Yeah. He said, yeah,
and I was like,
we lost to the 49ers, obviously.
I was like, I paused and I was like, Someone put Pagano in concussion protocol.
Right. I will say that I'm not surprised by the performance by Rams head coach Sean McVay. I kind of knew that this was going to happen. I mean, here's an up-and-coming offensive coordinator / play-calling quarterback genius, Kirk Cousins, quarterback whisperer, and he goes to L.A., and now his quarterback is Jared Goff. And look, as much crap as I give Jared Goff, he didn't make any mistakes, okay?
He did exactly
what was asked of him. Hand the ball off to the running back. Don't make mistakes. The defense forced, 3 touchdowns and 2 safeties?
Something like that. They had 2 pick sixes, I think.
Yeah, they had 2 pick sixes and 2 safeties or something like that. So, when it all comes down to it, I'm going to say both. I want to say that Rams defense is really good, and that Colts team is just awful.
Yeah, at the beginning of the year, I said this Rams team will go as far as Jared Goff takes it. Now, he looked decent so far. I'm happy that they're using Todd Gurley more, but I think that, and I think the Rams... what the Rams need to do, I mean, they got a good start off to the season. I'm not saying they're going to win the division, but I mean, don't be surprised if they give Seattle trouble.
Yeah, they'll give Seattle trouble at home, definitely. But I mean, it all goes back to the fact that Andrew Luck is injured. They don't have a defense, and Scott Tolzien is their quarterback.
Cannot play with him. Cannot win with him. Cannot coach with him. Can't do it. I want winners.
So, when it all comes down to it, that Colts team will go as far as that defense and Scott Tolzien.
And not very far is what you're getting
Not
at.
very far. I mean, they're stuck in a horrible situation where they might need to tank in order to get a good offensive lineman / good defensive player.
They don't need. They need more protection for Andrew Luck. They don't need more defensive stuff.
But their defense blows.
Well, they have nothing.
It's literally Andrew Luck and everything.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. Like you need some, even a spark on the deep. The Raiders did it. They got Khalil Mack first, and then they got Derek Carr in the same draft in the second round. Sometimes going defense first, but getting a spark, another spark, so Andrew Luck doesn't constantly have to be it.
But at the same time, even though Scott Tolzien played poorly, it's not like his receivers were doing him any favors. I mean, what, didn't T.Y. Hilton fumble or something like that? I didn't watch the whole game because I was driving, but does anyone remember?
Well, you shouldn't have watched any of the game if you were driving, Hank.
No, I watched some of the game because I was with you guys and I left. Remember?
Okay.
Man, just left him hanging.
But I think that if they keep going at this pace, they can play well. I don't think that Jared Goff is going to be a world beater, but you know what I've learned about the 2002 Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the 2000 Baltimore Ravens, and in many cases the 2013 Seattle Seahawks, you don't need a quarterback that's going to just beat on other teams.
Okay.
No. You can't compare Scott Tolzien to Trent Dilfer. Trent Dilfer's a much better quarterback.
I was comparing Jared Goff to Trent Dilfer.
Okay.
Alrighty. So I think we should move on. This is probably we're gonna move on to week 2 predictions. So we're gonna do the same thing like last week.
I'm excited.
Okay, so we're gonna do the Thursday night game first. Then we're gonna do all of the 1 o'clock games except for one. Then we're going to do the primetime games, except for one being the Oakland Raiders Jets slot. And then we're gonna do the Sunday night and then Monday night.
And
so
just so like, because we discussed it, and there was a little bit of a question over what picks we should do. The only reason why we're doing like some of the picks that we're doing is because it's like there's like a lot of like other stuff going into the games. Like I think we'll eventually get to like every team, but I want to see like the primetime games plus like a few other games, you know.
Yeah, exactly. So then at the end, we're going to do a segment called Lock and Upset of the Week, similar to how some networks do it. Basically, you're going to pick a team that you think for sure is going to win and a team that you think can pull off an upset. So let's get straight into this. So Thursday night, we got Houston going to Cincinnati. Who you got?
Ew.
Cincinnati.
Disgusting.
Tie.
I mean, here's the thing. I think that it's if Deshaun Watson can come out and play well. And of course the Texans do have a great defense and Deshaun Watson is going to be the starter. But I mean, it's in Cincinnati. You got to hope that Cincinnati has control over their business. I'm just going to go with Cincinnati based off of the fact that both teams got blown out, and I'm just going to go with the home team.
So Hank's going with Cincinnati. Who are you going with, DJ?
Okay, well, I'm about to go with the Texans on this one because of my, prediction. So, so I believe that the Bengals will lose this game at home. They're going to go on a huge slide. They're in trouble. Marvin Lewis is in trouble. I think that you guys are right about Deshaun Watson. He's going to come out and he's going to have a good rookie start. He's going to do what Deshaun Kaiser did, but he has a little bit more behind him at this moment with the defense being so good. So,
and Josh, who do you got?
I have the Texans too. I just don't think that. I think that the Texans still have a pretty good enough defense to stop what the Bengals have.
Yeah, I got Houston as well. I think that the only issue is the thing is I think Cincinnati's offense is so inept, in my opinion, that going up against that Houston Texans defense,
it's not going to go well.
Yeah, exactly.
Crazy. Okay. Wait, one thing. I can't believe you just said an offense with Joe Mixon and AJ Green and Andy Dalton and Tyler Eifert is inept.
It's inept because of
they were inept against you guys.
It was an.
And the Texans have a good defense too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm not saying like the weapons are inept or whatever.
It's the Bengals and Texans. No one cares about them anyway.
Yeah. Right. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to this, just the regular slot games, i.e. 1 o'clock games. I will skip one. You're probably going to know which one it is.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I'm going to go. Just don't bother even explaining yourself. Just pick a team. So Patriots at Saints. I got New England.
I got New England.
New England.
Everyone's going New England?
I'm going Saints.
Ooh.
Already.
No, Josh. You would.
And that will be it. Yeah.
The smart pick, Josh.
All right, next one.
All right, next one is Baltimore versus Cleveland at Baltimore. I got Baltimore.
Good morning, Baltimore. Gotta be Baltimore.
He's going to say his Browns, and I'm going to say my Ravens.
Right?
Yeah, of course. Come on.
All right,
the top 2 defenses in the league.
All right. Next game is an interesting one. Minnesota at Pittsburgh. I got Minnesota.
I got Minnesota.
I got Pittsburgh at home.
You, Josh?
And I have Minnesota as well.
Yeah, good man.
Alrighty. Next game, Tennessee at Jacksonville.
Ooh.
I got Tennessee.
I know who DJ's gonna pick.
We're going undefeated.
The Jacksonville Jaguars at home hold off the Tennessee Titans. I'm sorry, Wes.
I'm gonna pick the Titans.
Titans?
Yep.
And you're Titans too?
Mm-hmm.
All right, next one?
You're going Titans, right?
Yeah, I'm going Titans as well.
Alrighty, and then next game, I had the skip game. Buffalo at Carolina. I got Carolina.
At Carolina, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll go with Carolina.
Yeah. Okay.
I got Carolina as well.
I got Carolina.
Okay. And next game.
If there's across the board?
Yes. Arizona at Indianapolis. I got Arizona.
Yeah.
I got the
I'm
Cardinal.
gonna have to go with Arizona too.
DJ? Boy?
Arizona.
He's going with the Cardinals. He's going with the Cardinals. Okay.
Okay. Next game, Chicago at Tampa Bay. Give me Tampa Bay.
I am going with Chicago here.
Okay.
Wow.
I think it's the whole thing is going to be tough because Tampa Bay already didn't play week 1, so they're rested, but they might be extra rusty. And the Bears actually put together a good performance. Granted, it was at home, and granted, it was against the Falcons, the Falcons don't play as well on the road.
I just think we underestimated that defense.
I'm gonna go Tampa, just because of their weapons, but don't be surprised if the Bears win.
And Josh?
Oh, I'm taking Tampa, you guys. I told you, I think Tampa's going to be a really good team this year. I think they have a good defense and a good offense.
Okay, and so DJ, you're taking Chicago, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and then we're going to do... Actually, let's do 2 of the 4 p.m. slots because they aren't really impressive games. Miami at Los Angeles Chargers. I'm going to... Give me Los Angeles.
AFC game, that could be good, and it's in LA, but it's not really a home stadium because they only have 20,000 seats there.
I'm going with Miami because when it comes down to it, historically, Miami usually plays really well against the Chargers.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going with San Diego in this one. I think they really got hurt.
San Diego.
Lost. I call them San Diego. Yeah. I got the Chargers. Chargers are going to win this game. 21-17.
And Josh.
I'm going with the Chargers as well.
Okay. And our last one. Now, clearly, this is going to be a tough game. New York Jets at Oakland Raiders.
Raiders.
I think this is a tough one for me. I'm going to have to go with the New York Jets losing in blowout fashion.
Oh.
So we got Oakland across the board, correct?
Yeah. You can say that.
Okay. So now let's...
Are you going on to more games?
Yeah.
Now we're getting into the primetime games.
Okay, cool.
So let's start off with the 1 p.m. game, and I'm pretty sure Hank knows the one I skipped. That being Philadelphia at Kansas City. Andy Reid versus his old former team. Doug Peterson versus his former coach.
I'm gonna go with Kansas City just because this is gonna be like it'll be like a 20-16, 17-14 kind of game. But I mean Kansas City had a strong showing against the Patriots. I just don't see the Eagles going in there, and I mean I think they're gonna make noise, but I don't see them coming out with the victory just because it's hostile.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna have to go with the Chiefs as well. I just think that they just came out from beating the Patriots. Man, they're riding high. So Kareem Hunt is a force to be reckoned with, I believe too. So I mean, if Alex Smith performs the way he does, there's no reason. I think the Chiefs in 28-14.
Okay.
I'm picking the Raiders as my lock team. The Raiders are definitely locking it up.
We'll get that at the end, bro.
We're doing primetime games right now.
Boy. No, okay, we're talking about the KC versus Philadelphia at KC. Who you got?
Oh, KC.
Okay.
That environment, that's one of the toughest stadiums to play in, right behind CenturyLink Field. Yeah. That place gets so loud at Arrowhead. In a primetime game, the roofs, it doesn't even have a roof because the people have blown it off. They're going to be so loud.
I got Kansas City. I just think Philadelphia ends up walking in there thinking that they're better than they are, but end up losing to a much better team in Kansas City. So let's move on to the next game. I think this is America's game of the week, I think.
Yeah.
It's on Fox.
Yeah.
It's Dallas at Denver. Who you got?
I got Denver.
Okay.
I got Denver just because it's their home stadium.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with Denver too on this
Dallas,
one. As much as I hate Denver, I got to go with Denver here. I think they got lucky last week, but...
By the way, don't let this influence you, but this is an interesting fact. Dallas has not won in Denver since 1992.
See?
I think that it'll be I think it'll be a game that was much like the 2009 Denver Broncos Dallas Cowboys game, where Dallas actually had the lead at a certain point in time. It's just Denver came back. I just think that if this game was in Dallas, I think that the Cowboys would easily roll over the Broncos. But, I mean, they just got their first win with a new head coach, and Dallas didn't score as many points against the Giants defense at home.
Alrighty.
I just think that Denver is a safe pick.
Alrighty.
You're breaking up a little bit, Hank.
I
know. Josh, who you got?
I actually have Dallas winning that one. I think that they, especially with Zeke, if Zeke wasn't there, completely different. But I think that they'll still be able to run the ball, kind of. I don't think Zeke's going to have a breakout game. He's not going to have a monster game. But I think just because I know Simeon is decent back there, I just don't think they have enough at quarterback, and their defense isn't as good as it was when they won the Super Bowl with bad Peyton Manning.
Yep. Yes, I have to go with you. I'm going not because I'm a Cowboys fan, but no, I have to go with Dallas mainly because I don't trust Trevor Siemian. Because let me tell you something, you're up 24-7 against the LA Chargers. Okay, now I'm not trying to underrate the Chargers by any means because yes, they are a decent team, but what I think what separates the Cowboys from the Broncos from what I saw is that Dallas plays to win and knows how to win now in the fourth quarter. Yes, I understand that's pretty much of an oxymoron if you thought about it years ago, the Tony Romo and stuff. Mm-hmm. Looking at it nowadays, until Dak loses in a fourth quarter situation, I got Dallas.
Didn't he lose in a fourth quarter situation last year?
Yeah, I believe against the Giants, but like that was
no.
I think it was
in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's what happens when you lose a game. You lose in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, no. Well, I mean, like, no, duh, you idiot. I mean, no. What I mean by fourth quarter situation, I mean like it's a tight game, and yeah, you could argue that, like, but he theoretically only had 2. Like, he didn't have like 5 or 6. You know what I mean?
I mean, again, that doesn't mean that Dak sucks. You know, it's
yeah, exactly. I mean, like, so until I'm proven otherwise, I got Dallas. Okay, so let's move on to Washington at the Rams.
Wait, I thought that wasn't one of our games.
No, that is one of the games.
Is that a Sunday night?
Anyways.
No, that's a Sunday. Dude, I skipped the Miami one. Was a 4:00 game.
Oh.
That's the one I skipped.
I thought we were just doing 3 of the primetime games and
okay.
2 of the
That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. So Josh had to leave us, guys. So he'll
check in with us later. So
rip him.
Let's do that. Let's do that game.
You want to do Washington at Los Angeles?
Yeah.
Okay. So because the 49ers game, let's just do the 49ers game real quick. Predict it. 49ers at Seattle. Who you got?
Seattle.
I have Seattle as well.
I think we all are going to take Seattle unless Josh says otherwise. All right, so I got to write that down. Okay, so that won't count towards our primetime pickups because theoretically
we'll ask him which one he picks.
Yeah, and then okay, so let's go to Washington at Los Angeles. I have Washington bouncing back and winning.
I think the Redskins are in more trouble than they think. I got the Rams here.
I got the Rams too because Sean McVay knows the Redskins better than the Redskins know Sean McVay. So I got the Rams. I have the Rams starting out 2-0.
All right, I'll leave Josh's stuff blank for now. Okay, so then going into the Sunday night game, it's going to be a good one. Green Bay at Atlanta. It's Atlanta's home opener, and their brand new, smells like a new car stadium. The one that has a Chick-fil-A in it, but it's not going to be open that day. So, okay.
I have Atlanta.
You got Atlanta?
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with Atlanta here. No, you know what? No. I'm going Packers. I think Atlanta, they've taken a step back in these first few weeks here. They're going to have to regain what they got last year. I got the Packers coming in and beating them.
I have Atlanta. Because I feel like as of right now, similar to how the Giants were to the Cowboys, like a team has your number for a certain amount of times. Yeah, sure, that might end. But I feel like Atlanta has Green Bay's number as of the moment. But we'll see. Because I think you could say opposite, but...
yeah.
Okay. So, and then we'll ask Josh's predictions later. And finally, for our last game, Monday night, Hank Williams Jr. is back. His new Monday night song is actually pretty decent.
Nice.
Whatever. It's Detroit at New York. I'm gonna go with New York. Odell probably is playing, so I'm gonna take New York in this matchup.
I'll take the Giants as well.
Yeah, I'm definitely not taking the Giants. They look atrocious. I'm going with the Lions here. They're gonna win big.
Even if they have Odell?
Yeah.
You're being serious?
Yes.
Wow. Let me give you an Owen Wilson. Wow.
Wow. Yeah, Giants fans could get mad at me for calling him overrated, and then they're gonna get mad at you. Let me tell you something. If the Giants fall to 0-2, I think they're done.
Well, did you see Mr. Manning's face? He's been done. It's over. They're gonna end up firing their head coach.
Okay.
Dude, I'll tell you something. Jim McAdoo looked like the kind of guy who is gonna try to offer you candy out inside of his van.
Yeah, it wasn't a good showing for the Giants in the first week. Let me put it that way, okay?
Okay, now let's move on to
stop slicking his hair back.
What's up?
He needs to stop slicking his hair back like that.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, exactly. Now, let's move on to one of our final segments. The first one being lock and upset of the week. So, to introduce it, and I introduced it a bit earlier, basically, your lock is a team you think most likely and is for certain going to win.
Mm-hmm.
Your upset is going to be a team you think is in the upset category and will win against that team.
Can this be, like, say, for instance, I picked the Rams to beat the Redskins. Can I pick the Redskins to be an upset team?
Yes, because the Rams are actually favored.
But even though I didn't pick the Redskins to win, I can still do that, right?
Yeah, you can do that.
Oh, okay.
Like, that's just a whatever. I mean. Oh,
okay. Gotcha.
And that's like a separate. So I'll start off. So my lock of the week is my lock of the week is the Oakland Raiders. Obvious choice. I mean, the Jets look like a dumpster fire. I don't think they have any chance in all that can be to beat Oakland. Oakland is at home. That Oakland is my lock of the week. As for my upset of the week, I have the Philadelphia Eagles as my upset of the week. I'm upsetting the Kansas City Chiefs if it were to happen.
We know Josh's lock of the week is the Raiders game too.
Mm-hmm.
So my lock of the week is the Seattle Seahawks over the San Francisco 49ers. When it comes down to history and Pete Carroll, the 49ers have not fared very well in Seattle. I think under Pete Carroll, the 49ers have only won once in Seattle. So I'm going to pick that one, and my upset is going to be the Chicago Bears over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
You're a punk.
And here's the thing. I'm gonna
You're a punk, Hank.
Because I'm a nice guy. I'm gonna let DJ explain why it is the lock. It is the upset of the week. So DJ, why is it the upset of the week?
Well, since I picked them actually in the pick'em this when we just did our update, I have Chicago coming in because of their defense. Another reason because as we mentioned prior, they are playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on basically the Tampa Bay Buccaneers first week when the Chicago Bears are playing their second game. So if there's any rust, like Hank said, they're rested. But if there's any rust, there's going to be a lot there. And the Chicago Bears have already played. And Mitch, he can make the offense move. And if the defense can hold him, I see this being an upset.
Is Trubisky playing?
No.
I think so.
No, I don't think he is.
He played. Was it because he had a starting job coming out of preseason?
No, Glennon did.
No, really? Glennon did. Glennon played week 1, and
okay.
Not to mention,
not
to mention, Mike Glennon also used to play for these Tampa Bay Buccaneers as well.
That would help as well.
Actually, I have to change my lock of the week. My lock of the week is going to be my fantasy team in for money beating this one guy that put up only 50 points.
Yeah, let's talk about that real quick, Hank.
That's my lock of the week. Wait, DJ, before you go on, I need to know. So what are your locks and upsets, real quick?
All right. So my lock is basically just repeating what Hank did. Hank just totally looked on my paper and cheated. But anyways, it's going to be Seattle beating.
Oh, your lock, Seattle
at home, and Chicago beating Tampa Bay by 2 touchdowns.
What?
Yeah, I have to change it because Hank took it, so I got to put a little flair on.
So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep track of how we're doing completely overall, and I'm going to break it down for primetime games and locks and upsets as well.
I just got news that Brandon Browner got arrested in Los Angeles.
Who the heck's Brandon? Oh, never mind.
He was a former
Seattle Seahawks / didn't he play? Didn't he also play for the Cleveland Browns?
For a season.
Okay.
Also, there was a guy in the chat, and I don't mean to call this person out, but during the very beginning, he said that the Eagles signed Darrelle Revis, and I was looking for that, and I was like, I can't find that, and he was like, oh, it was just an update on Madden.
So, boy,
oh my God.
So,
no, but okay.
Yeah, so we have those. I think that it's going to be an interesting week. I don't think that it's going to be more of the same. I think you're gonna see some surprises.
Already.
Not surprises.
So let's end on buy or sell. I got 3 questions for you guys. It's all related to, well, except for one. So the first one, buy or sell. New England versus New Orleans puts up more than 35 plus points, or not 35, excuse me, 40 plus points for each side.
Wait, say that
so
again.
It's going to be a shooter.
Say that again.
Oh, sorry. Let me rephrase it. Buy or sell. New England versus New Orleans for week 2 ends up becoming a shootout.
I buy that.
I'll buy that.
I'll take it home. I won't even resell it. I'll just put it up there on the mantle and just cherish it because that is definitely going to happen. We're going to see over.
I would love if Brandon Cooks can.
Yeah, I want him to do something because he's on my damn fantasy team. But I think that it'll be an interesting game, and I think that Drew Brees will throw for 3 touchdowns.
Oh yeah, I think he can. All right, next buy or sell.
Mm-hmm.
The New York Giants offense with.
Wait, you're breaking up.
Okay, my apologies. What I said was that buy or sell. The New York Giants. Their offense underperforms against the Detroit Lions, even with Odell.
Sell. I'm gonna sell that. I think that Odell Beckham is gonna make all the difference.
Okay.
Why are you so sold on him?
I'm gonna buy
because
that.
He's good.
I'm gonna buy that because I don't know about this.
Why? No, that's a good question. I have to ask that. Why are you so infatuated with Odell Beckham?
Because he's good. He's the best wide receiver in the damn league.
No, he's not. Jesus, Hank. He's really best.
He is.
You could argue he's the most valuable.
No wide receiver in this league can catch the way he can.
Not only that, he's way more valuable to his team.
It's true he might not have the biggest frame. I mean, Julio and Dez definitely have a bigger frame than Odell Beckham has, but nobody absolutely ruins the lives of slot receivers like Odell can. Like, Odell can literally turn a 10-yard catch into an 80-yard touchdown. Easily, like that. He's like Waldo. Where's Waldo? We got to make sure that Waldo doesn't screw us. This is not to say that Julio's a great receiver. Antonio Brown's a great receiver. Dez Bryant's a great receiver. But I just think that Odell Beckham is more deadly. And Odell Beckham is more of an MVP to his team than the other 3.
Okay. So my final buy or sell question. Now, I don't know why because they haven't broken the record yet. Okay? They've tied the record for most consecutive wins in the American League. And GJ knows what I'm talking about. It's Cleveland Indians winning 21 games in a row Now, the question is the buy or sell question isn't are they going to win? I feel like they will. Buy or sell. Indians do not make it to the World Series.
Sell. DJ, what do you think?
DJ, hello?
I mean, I'm gonna answer for him. I think he's gonna sell too. I think he believes that the Indians will go to the World Series.
This is what I'm.
I mean, I'm not gonna just say like I'm not just gonna like answer for him, but I know what he's
Let me tell you
say.
something. Look, and I've learned this with Golden State. You can set any of the records you want. That crap doesn't matter if you don't win the championship. I'm the same way. I think Cleveland's going to get bounced by the Houston Astros in the NLCS.
Those are fighting words.
I think Houston's going to the World Series against the Dodgers.
Ooh.
That's my prediction.
All right, that's what is it? What's the quote? That's a bold move, Cotton.
Yeah.
All right, so
yeah,
hopefully DJ, I don't know, maybe it's the connection, but we will. I think Ricky and I are gonna try to do that Saturday football thing again, possibly. But who knows?
What time? Because I will be in where I work at the office till like 6 my time. I think I'll be fine.
Yeah, it should be good. But I hope everyone has a good day. I hope everyone enjoyed, and we'll be back. We'll definitely be back within the week with more content. Definitely.
Yep. Catch you guys later.
All right. Everyone have a good day. Night. Peace.